So, in the last video, we discussed about Keshav Chandra Sen, and now we're going to see Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. So, another outstanding reformer in Bengal was Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, and his duration was from 1820 to 1891. While Ram Mohan Roy and others looked to Western rationalist ideas to reform society, Vidyasagar argued that the Hindu scriptures were progressive. So, earlier we discussed, right, Ram Mohan Roy and few other leaders, they were uh, they were into they were adapted to Western ideas, and they tried to implement the same in India, right? But what Vidyasagar did was, he argued that the Hindu scriptures were progressive, and he also provided evidence from scriptures that there was no sanction for burning of widows or for the prohibition on the remarriage of widows. Okay, he strongly provided evidences from various scriptures that Hinduism or the Hindu culture did not sanction burning of widows, or even it did not prohibit the remarriage of widows. Okay, we did not discourage women for remarriage, and we did not force women to burn themselves. This was what he said. He wrote a number of polemical tracts and was the pioneer of modern Bengali prose. He wrote various Bengali books, Bengali prose, and all. He played a leading role in promoting education of girls and helped them in setting up a number of schools. He strongly strived for women education, and he also opened various schools. He dedicated his whole life for the betterment of the child widows of the Hindu society. Those days, child marriage was very common, right? So, child widows were also there. So, he dedicated his whole life for the betterment of the child widows. The movement led by Vidyasagar resulted in the Widows Remarriage Reform Act of 1856. So his movement resulted in the Widows Remarriage Reform Act of 1856. This act was intended to improve the lot of child widows and save them from perpetual widowhood. So this act gave life to so many child widows, and they were relieved from widowhood. Okay, and then next we are going to see about Prarthana Samaj. The Maharashtra region was another region where reform activities gained steam. So Maharashtra region was another region like Bengal and all, where the reform activities gained steam. A movement similar to the Brahmo Samaj but founded in Bombay in 1867 was Prarthana Samaj. A movement similar to Brahmo Samaj was started in Bombay in 1867, which was nothing but the Prarthana Samaj. Its founder was Dr. Atmaram Pandurang. Atmaram Pandurang was its founder, and its duration was from 1825 to 1898. The two distinguished members of this Samaj were the two notable members of this Samaj were R.C. Bhandarkar and Justice Mahadev Govind Ranade, M.G. Ranade. They devoted themselves to activities such as intercaste dining, intercaste marriage, widow remarriage, and improvement of women and depressed classes. So they devoted their lives into such activities. Ranade, whose duration was from 1842 to 1901, was the founder of the Widow Marriage Association, started in 1861. The Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, started in 1870. and the Deccan Education Society started in 1884. While the above reformers worked among the upper castes, during the same time, Jyotiba Phule worked for the uplift of depressed castes and the cause of women. His book Gulamgiri, Slavery, is an important work that condemned the inequities of caste. So these people worked for the uplift of upper caste people like the Hindu Brahmins, their widow, their widowhood and their remarriage. So they strove for that. But Jyotiba Phule, Jyotiba Phule strove for the betterment of lower caste people or the depressed caste. And his book Gulamgiri, which means slavery, is an important work that condemned the inequities of caste. So this is Atmarang Pandurang and this is M.G. Ranade. Next comes Hindu revivalism. Swami Dayanand Saraswati and Arya Samaj in 1875. In the Punjab, the reform movement was spearheaded by the Arya Samaj. It was founded in 1875 by a wandering ascetic in the western Gangetic plain, Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Duration 1824 to 1883. So in Punjab, like Arya Samaj, it was founded by 1875 by a person from Western Ganga, Western Gangetic Plain, who is Swami Dayanand Saraswati, and his duration was 1824 to 1883. He later settled in Punjab to preach his ideas. You can see the picture of Swami Dayanand Saraswati. This is Swami Dayanand Saraswati. His book Satyartha Prakash enjoyed wide circulation. So Satyartha Prakash was a book written by Swami Dayanand Saraswati, and it was really a very famous book, and it was circulated widely. He declared the practices such as child marriage, the prohibition of widow marriage, and the alleged polluting effects of foreign travel had no scriptural sanction. The positive principles enunciated by Dayanand were strict monotheism, condemnation of idolatry, and rejection of Brahmin domination of ritual and social practices. So the positive principles enunciated by Dayanand were strict monotheism. I've already told you what monotheism is, believing that there is only one God. Condemnation of idolatry, opposition to the worship of idols, that is called condemnation of idolatry, and rejection of Brahman domination of ritual and social practices. Even now in temples we can see Brahman priests doing puja. So from the olden days, Brahman domination was the ultimate source for Brahman domination was the ultimate cause for lower class rejection. Okay, lower class were not even allowed to temples. It was like that during those days. He also rejected superstitious beliefs in Hinduism, especially Puranic literature, and his cry was, "Go back to Vedas." He said, "Go back to Vedas, learn Vedas, and follow them." This was his belief. Arya Samaj attempted to check the incidence of religious conversion in British India. One of its main objectives was counter conversion, prescribing a purificatory ceremony called Suddhi, directed at Hindus who had converted to Islam and Christianity. People were slowly moving from Hinduism to Christianity and Islam. So he did not like this conversion, this religious conversion. So he he created a ceremony, he organized a ceremony, a purificatory ceremony called Siddhi, directed at Hindus who had converted to Islam and Christianity. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries were a period of great turmoil in undivided Punjab with intense debates between Hinduism, Islam, and Christianity. So, the late 19th and early 20th centuries were a period in Punjab where there was a fight between Hinduism, Islam, and Christianity. The primary achievements of Arya Samaj were in the field of social reform and spread of education. So, Arya Samaj's primary achievement was social reform and spread of education. The Samaj started a number of Dayananda Anglo-Vedic schools and colleges. Various Dayananda Anglo-Vedic schools and colleges were started. Next is Ramakrishna. As we saw earlier, the Brahmo Samaj, as a response to Christian and rationalist criticism, had criticized idolatry and other orthodox Hindu practices. The popularity that Ramakrishna, from duration 1836 to 1886, a simple priest of Dakshineshwar near Kolkata, gained in the latter half of the 19th century was a response to this. He emphasized the spiritual union with God through ecstatic practices such as singing bhajans. An ardent worshipper of goddess Kali, the sacred mother, he declared that the manifestations of the divine mother were infinite. In his view, all religions contain the universal elements which, if practiced, would lead to salvation. He said, Jiva is Shiva. All living beings are God. Why then talk of showing mercy to them? Not mercy, but service. Service for man must be regarded as God. So, like I said, in Brahmo Samaj, there was a criticism between religions like Christianity, Islam, and Hindu practices. So, that time in Dakshineshwar, Ramakrishna was the person who communicated with God by singing bhajans. He was an ardent worshipper of goddess Kali, and he felt his divine for sacred mother were infinite. In his view, all religion contains universal elements and it should be practiced. If practiced, it would lead to salvation. And according to him, Jiva is Siva, Atma, your own Atma, which is all living beings are God. So, since all living beings are God, one living being should not show mercy on other one. Not mercy but service. So you can serve another man, you can do service to another man, but don't do it with mercy, because all living beings are God. This was believed by Ramakrishna. See, here's Ramakrishna, and this is Ramakrishna mission. Okay. Now we are going to see about Ramakrishna mission. Ramakrishna's primary achievement was his ability to attract educated youth who were dissatisfied with the rational orientation of religious reform organizations such as the Brahmo Samaj. So Ramakrishna had a special talent in attracting youths. See if you can understand. Even now, in our homes they may speak about caste, but what we will do is we'll say we should not see caste and all. Everyone is equal, like that we'll say, right?